Hello everyone, my name is Dimitri and welcome to my channel. I would like to show you a project that I have been working on for quite some time that is about a vehicle for personal transportation. It's quite an innovative and in my opinion very useful and very wonderful mode of personal transportation. So this is the vehicle that I have designed. As you can see, is very compact and it has a cabin on it. You can think of this vehicle as a bicycle with a cabin on it. And why should we put a cabin on a bicycle? Well, the reason is that weather is not always nice. So in a bicycle, sometimes it rains, it snows, it's cold, it's windy, and it can be really uncomfortable. And I genuinely believe that in the future we should find modes of transportation that are much less polluting, and bicycles certainly is one of them, but a lot of the people don't want to give up the car because of the reason I mentioned you. Not only that, it's fairly, you can fall and hurt yourself. Not having a cabin and the chassis around you makes the bicycle a lot less safe. So this has been a big dream of mine. I always wanted something like this and nothing ever seemed to come to the market. And I believe that this could be very useful for a lot of people. Having a mode of transportation that is clean, is affordable, it's affordable to buy, it's really cheap to run, it's very easy to park, that is not as big as a sacrifice as a car is. Motor cars are expensive to buy, expensive to run, expensive to insure. You're going to be stuck in traffic. You don't do any sort of physical activity, so you're sitting in a seat, and this is why a lot of people are becoming unhealthy. Couple that with the problem that we're having, the amount of resources that is used to build them, and also the fairly limited lifetime that they have. People buy them new, use them for 4, 5, 6 years, and then they sell them because they are such complex vehicles that after a few years they become such a liability in terms if they break, that they are sold for a very big discount. And this is why depreciation on car is so big, is because after a while people are just pretty much don't want to deal with the repair costs, so they sell them for a very large discount to people who maybe know a bit of mechanics or whatever, want to take the risk and buy a car like that. Also in winter a bicycle can be used, yes, but if you're catching anything slippery, having just 2 wheels, it's very easy to fall down and hurt yourself. As you can see here, this vehicle has 2 wheels at the front and 1 at the rear. The 2 front wheels are going to have an electric motor each. By having 3 wheels, what you want to have is you either make it super low or you have to tilt it, and this vehicle is able to tilt like you do it with a bicycle or a motorcycle. This is the side view. The length of the vehicle is 2.1 meters, the height is 1.36 meters, and the width is 86 centimeters. It's pretty much, you can think of as the dimension that a motorcycle would occupy. This would also be very advantageous in terms if you're not going to be locked in traffic and you're going to be able to split lane like people do with motorcycles and scooters. The sitting position in it is very comfortable. You're going to sit pretty much, imagine like in a sofa, so you're going to be fairly reclined, a very wonderful and comfortable position to sit in. This is how it's going to look with it in traffic. I do want to make it so that it keeps up with traffic. This way you're not a liability to other people, you're not essentially slowing down traffic, and I think it's also much safer to keep up with traffic instead of having people constantly surpassing you, which sometimes can feel very dangerous. In the city is also going to be quite wonderful. It's small, compact, so you're going to have no problems finding parking for it. Also taking it home, you're going to have no problem storing it somewhere. This is going to be a light, compact vehicle. And also the beautiful thing about having bicycles and these kind of vehicles in the city is that they don't produce noise. One of the things that people hate most about the city, a part of the pollution, it's also the noise. And electric cars are not going to solve that problem because electric cars are even noisier than normal cars. And you say no, but they have an electric motor that doesn't make any noise. And that is true. At low speeds they don't make any noise, but after a certain speed most of the noise that a car produces is not engine noise, it's tire noise, it's essentially aerodynamic noise. If you sit at the edge of a highway and you listen, most of what you're going to hear is just tire rumbling noise and aerodynamic noise. In a city an electric car is even noisier because usually they are much heavier than a normal combustion car, therefore making even more tire noise. So why have I designed this vehicle? The reason is very simple. It's frankly, I'm fairly fed up with cars. They're wonderful as a personal transportation vehicle because they allow you to go where you want, when you want, but they have a huge problem. They're expensive to buy, expensive to run, expensive to maintain. And as you can see here, you're going to be stuck in traffic, have a very hard time finding parking. They depreciate like mad, extremely polluting, even electric cars. In this picture, if you change these cars, which is mostly internal combustion, with electric cars, nothing is gonna change. Because yeah, they're not gonna, the only thing that's gonna change pretty much is they're not gonna put smoke up the tailpipe. But as we all know, electricity is not generated fully by renewables. Most of it is still generated by fossil fuels, so not that much of an improvement. And if you look here at all of this traffic, I'm sure if you look at any car, it's probably just one person per car. So if you take anybody out of the car and remove the car, it's probably very few people. But because a car occupies so much space, it takes very few people to create a traffic jam. So this is why we need a vehicle that allows people to still go like a car with the same distances to work and back, but in a way that is a lot more efficient, way less polluting, much healthier, because here these people are sitting in traffic, wasting money pretty much. Much healthier because this has pedals, so you can do a bit of physical activity and feel good when you go home and burn a bit of calories. Much better for the cities, and at the end of the day, much better for people's pockets. Even if you buy today an affordable car, it's still a lot of money just to run it. It's just in terms of fuel. And frankly, there is no solution. You either buy a car today or a bicycle and a scooter. But a bicycle and a scooter don't have a cabin, and the car has all of the problems that cars have. And most voyages are fairly short range, 50-60 kilometers in a day. That's what most people use a car for. So why not have a solution that it's small, compact, easy to use, affordable and cheap to run? And use something like this kind of vehicle, which is they're going to use to go to work, to buy the groceries, to do whatever they need to do for the 95% of the time when they just have to go alone. And this way is going to be much easier on people's pockets. It's going to be much easier in terms of pollution. So now let me show you how the vehicle works and how it's designed. So as you can see here, it has two front wheels and one at the rear. The pedals, it's going to be belt driven, and it goes to a rear gearbox, so you can also shift it while you are standing. And we have two electric motors in the front wheels. The way you're going to steer it is you're going to have these two forks, and you're going to move them back and forth to steer it, and if you move it up and down, you're going to help the vehicle tilt. The suspension is going to be able to tilt, and you're going to be able to essentially go into corners and feeling very stable and be essentially like a scooter, but with better stability, because we have now two wheels at the front. Also, having two wheels at the front is going to offer very good regen, because most of the weight is going to be on the front wheels, so you're not going to lock it. And another feature, which is very cool, is because you have the two front wheels powered by electricity and the rear wheel powered by your pedals, you kind of have all-wheel drive. So this should be very stable in very bad weather conditions. I still have to design the door mechanism and have the door open. Of course, the lights are missing, but this is going to be the general shape. So you're going to have a very, very good visibility from the inside. This is where this is going to be a door that opens and where you can store your stuff, and also this space is storage. So you do have plenty of actually storage space, and you're going to be able to carry most of the groceries, most of the stuff that you're going to need on a daily basis. You're not going to be able to carry probably lumber with it, but that's not what it's designed for. Also, another advantage of having two front wheels and one at the rear is aerodynamics. This vehicle has a shape that is very, very conducive to good aerodynamics, because most of the energy we use in a vehicle, especially at speed, is to push the air around the vehicle. The better aerodynamics you have, the better your range is going to be. This is why, for example, electric scooters and motorcycles have very terrible range, even if they are small and light. But that's because as they go above 40-50 kilometers an hour, most of the energy is going to be wasted on just the horrible aerodynamics. This is a vehicle that you can park anywhere. It's small, it's light, it's compact. One of the things that I really, really want about this is to be something that people buy it and you don't have to worry about it. You know, you buy a car and oh my god, if you scratch it, it's a huge cost. The panels are going to be made, as you can see, these are going to have small section of panels, and the reason is you scratch this, it's going to be made out of plastic, and something happens, it's just a few bucks, you go and replace it. Again, all of the mechanics, everything is going to be simple and using stock bicycle parts. This way, in a year or two, something wears out, you go with 30-50 bucks, you can replace anything you want on this vehicle, so that you don't have to worry about it like you do with a car. Another advantage is that a bicycle doesn't have is you can store stuff in it and go away without being worried that somebody is gonna steal it. This has a cabin like a car, so you can lock it up. So to finish this video, I wanted first of all to show you the project that I'm working on, and I'm really looking forward to your comments, also the good and the bad things that you think about it. But also because I want to make a pledge for the people who are interested in something like this and think that this could be something helpful for personal transportation and also to pollute less, is to pledge for money. I live in Romania. It's not a super poor country, but it's not a very wealthy country either. And if you can help me with essentially some pledges, I have a Patreon. I'm gonna make there my bank account. My desire would be to get about 30 grand. With that should be plenty enough to buy all of the equipment I need and have a prototype by next spring. So I'm looking forward for comments. I'm gonna post my Patreon. So thank you very much.